Good evening, folks. I hope you're good wherever you are. This year's St. Patrick's Day, 17th of March 2020, has been slightly different for all the wrong reasons. Didn't have any St. Patrick's Day celebrations this year because of coronavirus. I think this wee audio on St. Patrick is well worth listening to.
Christ be beside me, Christ be before me. Christ
with churches, sports clubs, schools, streets, a day and even a town named in his honour, the footprint of St. Patrick can be seen right across Ireland. But what do we really know of the man?
St. Patrick got kidnapped by Romans. He was in a shed writing something and people busted the door open. He got shoved into a boat. He was from England and not Scotland.
Christ on my left hand.
Well, the story is of course a little more complicated than that.
It's here in Downpatrick that St. Patrick began and finished his mission. In 432 AD he arrives here, brings Christianity to Ireland.
That's Dr. Tim Campbell from the St. Patrick Centre.
And of course before that he'd been a slave on Slemish Mountain, discovered his faith. Patrick's story is one about slavery, exploitation, reconciliation, forgiveness. By the time he came back here, he talks about being imprisoned many times, so it's a very difficult journey, but obviously a very spiritual person.
Christ all around me, shield in my strife.
It's in Downpatrick that you'll find what's said to be the patron saint's grave, and throughout the year, tens of thousands of people from far and near come to visit.
I'm working in an office today, funnily enough, that's just overlooking the cathedral, so I thought this is a fantastic opportunity now to go and see the grave. We were brought up hearing about St. Patrick and learning about St. Patrick at school, so I never thought I'd actually get the opportunity to come and see his grave, which is amazing.
We were down in Downpatrick just on business, and the sun was shining and it looked so nice. We just thought it would be lovely to come up and see St. Patrick's grave. It's really nice to be here.
In all hearts, thinking about me.
It's a little different this year, but usually hundreds of thousands of people celebrate St. Patrick's Day with parades, parties and the wearing of shamrock. But Dr. Tim Campbell says it wasn't always like this.
In 1737, Presbyterians created St. Patrick's Day in Boston. In the 1750s, the British Army used it as a way to recruit Irish people into the colonial militia. So 250 plus years later, we're now celebrating in a very different way. But yes, the way that we celebrate St. Patrick's Day as a parade comes from our American cousins. St. Patrick wouldn't have had a hat. The bishop's hats didn't come until medieval times. He wouldn't have been dressed in green because green's not the national colour of Ireland. That's an Americanism. Blue is the national colour of Ireland. The president of Ireland's flag is blue. So many of these things that we think about St. Patrick are quite wrong, but if we represent him as he would have looked like as a Roman Briton, then probably we wouldn't recognise him.
But what about snakes?
St. Patrick did not banish snakes from Ireland. We're asked that all the time. There were glaciers here 10,000 years ago, a mile high. Whenever they melted, they created the Irish Sea, separated us from the rest of Europe. So the Wrigley guys did not recolonise. What he's banishing, we think, are the pagan gods, which are represented in serpentine patterns on the old pagan stones.
And on that point, the owner of a local pet shop says there are more than a few serpents freely residing in the town.
I'm Julie Passmore. There's definitely a few snakes in this area. We have plenty of people coming into the shop looking for feed for snakes. They eat mice of all sizes, rats and chicks, and we are filling the freezer continually.
That see me, in ears that hear me, Christ ever be.
And if you want to know the real story of St. Patrick, get yourself down to the amazing St. Patrick's Centre in Downpatrick. you will not be disappointed. I guarantee it. And after you do a dander round the amazing St Patrick's Centre in Downpatrick, get yourself up to Down Cathedral, and just at the edge of Down Cathedral, which is an amazing church building in itself, just at the edge of Down Cathedral, in the grounds, is what is generally accepted as St Patrick's grave. And this is it.